Come on. Okay. Okay, Jackie, that's live.
Okay, thank you. Let us begin. To receive apologies for absence.
Not received any.
Okay. Variations of order of business. Not needed.
No.
Declaration of members' interests.
Oh,
No. For minutes, to confirm the minutes of the Finance Committee meeting of the 21st of October. Would someone like to
I'll
propose?
propose them.
I'll second them.
And all in favour? Yes. Wait a minute. The Christmas 2020 budget to authorise purchase orders from the Christmas 2020-21 budget. What was the clerk wanting? Yes.
It was, if you remember the parish council budget, when the chair said, can we brighten up the village anymore? Do you need any extra funds? And I said, no, we don't think we need any extra funds, as we have two budgets in existence this year, one for 750 and one for 300. And I did try and work out some ideas. One was for outdoor decorations to the parish council office. And I was a bit worried I couldn't sort of nail them down and they might go missing. So then I had the idea, and I'll show you a little video of how it's going to look, of setting up some sort of animated lit display for the two parish council windows. So if you'll bear with me, this will give you an idea. So this is the setup as we've got it. The left-hand display will be the left-hand window, and the right one, it's all cut to scale.
Oh, yeah.
That's not set up properly yet, but I've sort of gone ahead. Goes on a bit.
Which
That'll be the
window?
left-hand window. That's a road, hasn't been built yet. We'd put a Christmas arch in, if you so desired, and a war memorial. So that's your left-hand window. Come on, move over. And all the volume can be turned down. That needs sorting. That's Father Christmas. Post office. It's squeaky.
And is this electric powered or battery?
Yeah, some are battery, some are electric, mostly electric. Post office. That church needs lighting up. There's a vicar coming up. I'll paint him to look like the Reverend Horton. So you get the idea.
It's brilliant.
Yes. And how much is that?
That, if the parish council will pay for the figures, that will be the 750. It's all German made, and I would pay for any scenery, foam board, etc., and the work to go into it. But obviously, it's every year it would go out again.
I think it's great. And thank you for your work, Andy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I propose it.
Yes. Thank you, Martin. Is proposing that we.
I'll second it.
I've just got a slight concern about, are there additional costs above the 750, Andy?
There's bits that I will pay just because I'm doing foam board and modelling costs.
Well, I don't think you should be out of.
No.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, hang on, I'm just got to let Kath in. We'll see. It's a bit of a hobby, and if I buy stuff and only a small amount goes to that, then it's my little bit for the village. Let's put it that way.
You shouldn't be out of pocket though, because you're going to a lot of trouble.
But it's quite enjoyable. So if the parish will take possession of the models, I'm more than happy to play around and see what I can do with the scenery. And that would be my contribution.
Well, I hope you cost it for the next parish council meeting, and we can discuss it then, or failing that, the next finance meeting.
Yeah. The other budget of 350, because we're missing the arch, which has all the outdoor electrics, we will have to invest in an armoured cable to light the crib, but that will come under the cost of that. That's well within that particular budget. And the other thing I'm going to ask you for now to propose is, we've only just found out that the Christmas trees are available again this year, and I've put them down as a short notice payment, but only pay that if you're happy to authorise the purchase of the 2 trees again, one for War Memorial and one for the office. And we'll see you at the back. Okay, that's lovely. Thank you. That's Christmas sorted, everybody.
So those,
you.
can I just ask if the 2 trees are one for the office and one for the cenotaph, did you say?
Yes.
Different sizes, thank you.
Yes, and I've been measuring the cenotaph one, so I'm not quite sure I got the full 8 foot last year, sorry. It's, yeah, and the other thing we did, I don't know if you saw the emails, we did a lot of preparation and testing of lights, etc. Everything is more or less working. Outdoor lights don't last forever. We've had to do some running repairs, probably do some pat testings, but we're fortunately with a 1 starter lead, 4 sets kicked into life that we were a bit worried about. So we will do our best to light the bridge as well as the tree without going over any highways, etc. So there's no need for licenses. As you said at last meeting, we'll do our best to light up the village with what we've got.
Okay, and for the budget next year, we might have to look at trimming the tree and all that sort of thing.
I'm going to be curious how it looks when it lights up. We could see it in daylight quite easily when we tested it last week, which was a relief. But yes, again, when we budget for next year, we've got to think we might be sending someone up a cherry picker. Someone careful with the shears this time. I seem to remember, I'm told the last time they cut through the lights.
Right. So we've agreed to purchase items to go in the office windows.
Yes.
And also 2 trees.
Yes.
Right. Updates re bank accounts.
I'll just, if it's okay with yourselves, I'll bung up the finance report, which has the summary of the bank accounts in it as well. That's stop that share.
Gone.
Sorry, I'm just trying to find it. Finance report. Come on.
You have it.
It doesn't want to put the right one up. Ah, there we are. So again, this final, I'm going to do 2 together if that's okay, Chair.
Yes, that's fine.
The bank accounts. I'll just go down to the second page. We all 3 bank accounts together. We'd started October with 153,835, looking extremely healthy. The receipts, the second, you see there, I'll just flip this about, came to just over 2,500. This one caught me by surprise. That insurance claim, that was the second claim. So AXA have now paid out on both outstanding claims. One for the loss, the sickness pay to Anthony following his accident, the caretaker, and the second claim was the locum clerk following the unfortunate death of Keith. So both insurance claims are now settled. 2,500 is the maximum we can get. So they've paid out for both. You see the heavy expenditure of 2020 of October here, 20,833, is that the solar array grant that we had received, we promptly paid out to ADAS, and that is reflected in that high amount of VAT. But we still finished October with a very healthy balance of 135,597.79. You'll note another credit we received was £96.50, which was the closure of one of the 2 electric accounts that was long overdue going into the office. And here you see the breakdown of the 3 bank accounts. And I think it's time I did a bit of sweeping, as that Unity Trust current should have less in it than the instant, as there is some interest paid on the instant. And these payments were received and caught me, so a little bit of management required there. And Santander stays static. It's every now and then we get this rogue payment, for example, from the Allotment Society. So well worth keeping. The reconciliation, if we come here again, the reconciliation matches the balance there, matches that. So that means my maths is correct. And here is the totals to date against what we had set on the 2020 2021 budget. Any questions or queries, Chair? You were going to raise a couple of matters.
There was about the other works.
So I'm flashing around that here.
Yes. We budgeted so much for the bridge, really, didn't we?
Yes, we earmarked 10,000 for the bridge, and then we expected another 10,000 projects, for example, playgrounds, unexpected works.
So at the moment, what's in that column on the right?
What we're seeing there is we're skewed because the solar array, which we never knew was the solar array grant, which we never knew was going to happen, has had to go through our books. So the outspend, most of that outgoing there is the first payments to the solar array, but it's matched by the grant donations, other grants here, 12,338 minus the VAT. So you look at it and you think, hang on, we haven't got 10,000 left to pay for the bridge. Obviously we do. There has to go into my accounts because it's gone through our books, but it falls completely outside of our budget. So I'm going to have to start putting notes with these reports to explain anomalies such as that, because if you looked at that, you think, hang on, how are we going to pay for the bridge?
Yes. I mean, would you add the notes that you were reading from the second page just now? Would that be an appropriate place to have a little bit of comment about the solar farm?
We could. I mean, we have for other things as well. So we could put this little notes. I wouldn't call them anomalies because that sounds like we've done something wrong. But I'll find an appropriate word. So you got things like the solar farm, and for example, when the borough councillor grants come in to pay for the speed watch, etc. That needs putting in because it's maybe a spending on a 137, but of course we've got an income to cover it, so it's slightly different.
What income are we getting for the school field each month?
We're on £70 a week for the school field, so I'll put that up a bit from what we charge Severn Trent. You won't see that here because that will appear in November's monies.
Yes, because this is the 1st to the 31st of October that we look at.
Yeah.
Will the gates for the Little Hayfield and for the allotments be put on the repairs? Since it's our walls and everything.
On what, Martin?
You've got repairs, materials and running costs.
Yeah, I mean, the allotments gate, I was going to put against the allotments.
Well, it's our wall. You know,
I know, but it's sort of work that you do on it's a way of it's where you put things. I would be inclined to show that to the allotment because that's work on the allotment. But certainly the Little Hayfield gate, I've got a problem. You pointed out there. It's coming. That's going to come in on the same. That's the same bill, isn't it?
On the same.
Yes.
Yeah, it's from the same company. I can't really split the invoice, so I think that'll be another one where we have to write a little summary, a little note on the report that although,
it's other works.
Yeah, I think it's going to have to come under repairs, material, and running costs. But I'll have to put an addendum to the allotment side of the accounts to say that it isn't showing, but this proportion of that particular backs would be against the allotments. So at least when I can't have the allotment society saying we haven't spent anything when I know we bought them a gate. There's a good point, Martin. Yeah, I can't.
And owl boxes, haven't you?
Owl boxes, they will go against it. Yes, they'll go against the allotments. Yeah, that's a good point, Martin. It's where do you put the money to show the true work of the parish council? So going back to Jackie's comment about anomalies, that needs going in as well. Are you okay? Shall I stop sharing?
Does anyone have any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes, Martin.
We're coming up for sorting out the next year's what we're wanting and things like that, which is going to have to be done over the next month or so. Do we need, with certain figures we know is going to go over, we can set them for next year?
Correct, Martin. Yeah, I think you'll find in January, I'll let you get through Christmas, and in January I'll probably call budget meetings and just get a little bit more professional than I was last year. I was a little finger in the air last year with some of them. You're right, we can be a lot more accurate with some of these this year. There will always be uncertainty. No one knew COVID was coming. I didn't know there was going to be a £10,000 small business grant. And I didn't know they were going to start lifting up the bridge, which will skew up the income. Yeah, absolutely right, Marcy.
Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I have, Jackie. Turning back to the gates, is that installed, the price, or is that just the purchase of the gates?
That's the purchases. The installation will be by Chris and Graham at their normal rates, which
right.
Well, pretty cheap, really. Truth be told.
And they're comfortable fitting the gates, are they?
Yes. I've bought them to their specification. Well, actually, Chris went out and did a lot of measuring at Little Hayfield. We were going to get that one pre-COVID. COVID broke, and I tried to get the order in, but I couldn't get it during COVID. So now we've come out, I thought, well, it's a good opportunity to get both.
And could the invoices not just be split 50-50?
I probably could, yeah.
In the accounts.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I could.
Anyway, it's something to think about, Andy. It doesn't need an answer now.
Yeah. Any more?
Any more? Yes. Okay, let's move on. To accounts for payment. Has anybody checked the accounts?
Yes.
You have. So
Yeah.
what have you checked, Martin?
I've checked them against the invoices, and they all seem to be correct.
Right. And has anyone checked them against the transactions awaiting payment in the bank?
Yes, I have as well. Yeah.
You have. Okay. Would you care to propose that we pay them?
I propose it. Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay. All those in favour? Right.
This month, I'm a bit late, Chair. This month, I was going to ask Tony again. Tony, I was late last month. Would you, if I can get the originals and the checklists into the office at some point in the next couple of weeks, would you be able to pop in and check originals?
No problem.
Okay.
No problem. I think the only date I've got something on is the 1st of December.
Got it. Thanks. And Jackie and Kath, would you tick the boxes this month?
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
So that's good, because we've got a different person checking the accounts in the office, haven't we?
Yeah.
And I'm going to bully Mr. Toft to physically check either in December or January. So we bring the 4th one in.
Right. Okay. So we'll do these transactions later. The date of the next finance meeting.
I have it as the 16th of December, Wednesday.
Sounds right.
Yeah.